Welcome to the 57E. This video is designed to teach you everything you need to know about how to perform well and have fun on Waterloo. The 57E is known as one of the best regiments of France, which means we need to ensure that all of our members are knowledgeable and capable enough to keep us that way. Let's start with how to get into Waterloo. When you join the game, you'll notice that it asks for a code. Whenever we host an event, we will post some codes in the 57E events channel. They will be clearly marked for which company they are for, so you can find the code that is for you. Every new player starts off as a Fusilier, so you will likely be looking for the Fusilier code. Once in game, the expectation is for you to find your line and stand at the end of it. Usually you'll just spawn next to it and then you can go stand at the end of the line. For your first time on Waterloo, you will not have the uniform and an officer will have to give it to you. That is perfectly normal, and you just stand in line and they will give you the uniform. Controls. You can press 1 to equip and unequip your musket, just like any tool on Roblox. When equipped, the musket is in what is known as shoulder arms. When you do not have the musket equipped, you can take off your hat by pressing H. If you do have the musket equipped, it will go into ground arms, which we never use. When you take off your hat, it will open up a few options for customization. The only thing you'll likely to be needing though is the snow caps. You can hover over the buttons and find the one that says cover, and clicking that one will put on or take off the snow caps. Back to the musket, you press left click to make ready, then press F to present. You can also skip the make ready phase and just press F to present. When presenting, you will then begin holding down left click to start aiming. An aiming reticle will show up. This helps the accuracy of the gun when shooting at long ranges. While aiming, if you need to stop for whatever reason, say the officer says to go to shoulder arms, or your finger gets tired, etc., you can press F again and it will go back to shoulder arms without firing. If you were to just let go of left click, it will fire, and that is very bad for firing out of line. If you were to press X, it'll equip your bayonet. This allows you to fight in melee, close quarters combat. When you go to hit with the bayonet, you need to hold down to charge the arrow. It will be either pointing upwards or downwards based on the stance it takes, but we will cover more about melee later on in the video. Morale. In the bottom left side of the screen you will find health and morale. Health is pretty self-explanatory, but morale has many effects. High morale is essential for a line to play well. Low morale can cause the camera to shake, which can make aiming harder. It also reduces the damage you can do with a bayonet. Morale, though, can be raised in quite a few ways. You'll notice it gradually goes up when you stand near the flag. It can also go up when you are standing in line formation, both of which can be seen by icons located in the bottom left right above the health bar. Chanting is another way to improve morale, but only if we all do it at the same time. When we are in the heat of battle, the officer will say things like, "Let's chant," or something similar, and then they will begin counting down from 3. When the countdown finishes, everybody is expected to double tap Q. This will give a random chant, and if all of us do it, it will improve our morale the best. With chanting, you can also hold down Q, and then you can select the chant by clicking, holding, and then releasing on one of the options. Some of those options, if you hold down on them, will even bring up sub-options that you can then also choose from there. This is not important though in the heat of the battle, as it is more important that you just get the chant in, so just double tapping Q is the easiest and most effective way to do this. Formations. When in battle, we need to be able to form up quickly. If we're going to be able to shoot, better known as a volley, we'll need to make sure we line up beside the officer in one straight long line. It is important that we space out the line as well. There should be a full player width between you and the person next to you. This leaves more room for the enemy lines to miss when they shoot at you. Once you get into formation, you need to make sure you present as well. Reminder, you can do so by pressing F. The officer will then direct you to which enemy line you need to aim at. When we go to fire, the officer will tell you to fire. It is important that we all fire at the same time. That way we have better accuracy and do more morale damage to the enemy. If we fire out of line, we can cause what is called a misfire, which will damage the morale of you and those around you as well, which is not good. Sometimes you'll be told to fire at will. This means you can fire when you can, and you should continue firing at your own pace, reloading and firing, etc. After a volley, the expectation is to automatically reload, that is, unless the officer says otherwise. They could do so by saying a fire and charge, or giving the order to break reloads, something along those lines. You can stop reloading by unequipping the musket and re-equipping it again. Make sure you can always find the flag or the officer. If not, you can get lost, especially in charges. On to charging. Charging. When we charge, we need to blob up. This means that we all group up into a cluster. We move as a group, targeting the enemy's flag. It is extremely important to stay blobbed up, as that keeps us safe and keeps us moving forward. But to keep moving forward, we need to make sure we aren't distracted. This means we aren't stopping to kill enemies that are separated from their own blob, often using the saying, one hit and keep moving. This means that you take one hit against an enemy and keep moving towards their flag. As we're in a blob, enough of you guys will hit the guy that he will die anyways. Make sure you are also paying attention to your surroundings too. The officer will be explaining where to go and what to do, and you'll need to be able to see what they are trying to tell you about. Flag guard. Sometimes your line will have what is called a flag guard. They are a handful of players who wear their snow caps. They are in charge of guarding the flag. If you recall to what I said about blobbing up, the flag guard do the same, but they blob up on the flag, which is located behind the main fighting. Should the flag bearer get shot or otherwise die during the battle, it is the responsibility of the flag guard to pick it up and keep moving. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can direct message any NCO+. That would be someone with the 57E Petit État Major role found in the Discord. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all on the fields of Waterloo.